Hi Pisces, I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my overview report for the week of September the 14th. Okay, so right at the start of the week or the end of the week before, we have solar eclipse. It's right opposite you in your area of relationships. Now, it's a new moon, so it's a new start, signifies a new beginning in some way, and it's all about relationships. It's also an eclipse. It's a partial eclipse, but still holds punch, okay? So it's a time where you can meet somebody during this time. You can renew a relationship. If you're in a relationship, it can have like ignite some love and some passion and romance behind it, and you can really just a new start in love all the way around. Now you want to pay attention to this, because right now Jupiter in this area as well is opposite Neptune in your sign, so it's a very romantic energy and very optimistic energy. So as I always say, the energy is there with the planets and the planetary interaction, but it's really up to you to move it in the way that you want. I mean, certainly I always feel that there's sort of a fateful vibration about Jupiter, and Jupiter does sit in your area of relationships for the next nearly 12-month period. But really, it's up to you to really, stand up and make use of the energy. Otherwise, it can just as easily pass you by, okay? All right, now the other things that are happening this week, at the same time, Mercury is going to go retrograde. Now, excuse me, Mercury is retrograde in your solar 8th house. So this is official business. It can also be, it's a very supportive area. People are stepping forward to support you, particularly with money. So with Mercury retrograde, it's a great time to get together and plan. And if you're associating with someone and working with someone, it's a great time to really get down the solid foundations of that and do a lot of planning and getting things together rather than initiating. And if you do have to sign a document or go ahead with something during this Mercury retrograde time, which is right through to October the 10th, keep in mind it's always a few days either side which can be the most disruptive, that storm period. But if you do have to go ahead, because life doesn't always wait for Mercury to come out of retrograde, just make sure that everybody is aware of what they're accountable for. Always put everything in writing. Great idea always anyway, but particularly in a Mercury retrograde. And, don't gloss over anything. If you have to sign a document, get someone else to cast their eyes over it as well, okay? Sometimes when we're too close to a situation, then, we don't see, what's that term? You can't see the forest for the trees or something like that, yeah. Now, the other movement this week, at the end of the week, Saturn is finally going to move, and it's moving back to your career zone, your solar 10th house. It did move into this area, and then it went retrograde. It went back into Scorpio, and so he's sitting in Scorpio, hovering over at 29 degrees for some time. It makes it pretty intense, and for you it's an area of learning new knowledge. So you might have been just bogged down with study or learning something. It's also about evaluating your contacts overseas or doing business abroad, and so it's moving out of that area. So all that area can become a little bit lighter now. If you're doing business overseas, it can, lighten up, or with different cultures. Certainly study can become, a little lighter. So with Saturn in your solar 10th house now for a 2-year period. Okay, so I can't lie to you. Saturn can be pretty heavy going sometimes. In the sign of Sagittarius, it does lighten it up somewhat. But there's going to be periods over the next couple of years which you're going to feel, wow, this is like, pushing uphill. But what Saturn does, it does allow you to set solid, firm foundations. And if you're building relationships with business people, it allows you to really build solid, sincere relationships. Business is going to be, be there for the long term. So you should be looking at things now which are going to be able to support you and give you satisfaction on the long term, rather than looking for something quick, here today, gone tomorrow. So as always, as with everything, there's a plus and a minus, okay? So sometimes it's going to be like pretty hard going, but it's going to be worth it, okay? All right, so there's a lot happening this week, Pisces, and a lot of great things happening, influencing your sign. It's certainly your love life. That's quite exciting. And we've got Mars and Venus still sitting in the solar 6th house. Good time to focus on your health and well-being too, all right? And don't forget to go and have a listen to the weekly overview report. I do go through these aspects in more detail on that report. So it's an 11-minute report if you've got the time, okay? Love and luck to you. See you next week. Bye for now.